Now we're going to look at the principle of the lever in the kitchen and also the wedge. And we're going to see all these devices on the table involve the principle of the lever or the wedge in some way. And I'll show you how this works. If you have a peanut and your job is to open it, you can do this with your fingers.
Oh, yeah.
We can crack a peanut and we can open that up. We can open that up. Not a problem.
Maybe.
Oh,
there we
yeah,
go.
You got it. You got it. Oh, yeah. Lovely. But if we want to open a walnut, and since this is a hard job, we'll get this from the Taylor. If you're going to open a walnut, can you crack that with your fingers? Not so
Maybe.
No,
much.
not so much.
What you could with a nutcracker.
A nut.
Have you used one of these before?
Yes, I have, actually.
So with the nutcracker, what we'll do is this. We're going to think about this as a lever. I'm going to put the walnut right here.
Okay.
And the pivot is right here in the center, okay? I'm pushing out here at the end of the handles. So it's a big distance. The nut is really close to the pivot, so it's a small distance. So if I push, and then the lever pushes on the nut, which one is the big force?
The big force is
Small
up here.
distance or big distance?
Smaller
Small
distance?
distance, big force. Bigger distance, smaller force. So I can use a small force to produce a big force, and the nutcracker lets me do that. So if you take this, doing it by hand was not so successful. Go ahead and squeeze that.
Yikes.
Oh yeah, get it.
Try and get like my finger.
Oh no! I heard it crack, and then it flew off the set. It said, "I know where this story ends," and so the walnut is out of here. The walnut is out of here. Oh yeah. An apple is going to meet its demise, and the apple meets its demise with a wedge. And this is a knife, and it's sharp on this edge, and it's blunt on this edge. So when I push this through something, it goes from being small to being bigger. And so it's pushing it apart, but it only pushes it apart this much distance. The knife moves this much distance. So I have a small distance, and I have a big distance. And so I'm pushing it apart a small distance, which means big or small force. Big force. And then the force I push with on the knife, I'm going to push it all this distance, the length of the blade. So I have big distance,
Small force.
small force, small force. And so this lets me basically tear the knife or the apple in half. And so what I'm doing is I'm putting a wedge in it. And what I'm actually doing is I'm just splitting it in half because I'm pushing the wedge in, and it just pushes the two sides apart.
So kind of like what we were doing earlier with the two
Exactly.
shoulders together.
Exactly.
Oh.
This is just like pushing you two apart with a
Okay.
wedge. A knife is a wedge.
Oh, okay.
And so I can use this to slice all kinds of things. And I just take it and I basically push the two sides apart. I just push the two sides apart.